Live in LA, Season 2, Episode 18. Welcome to VILMA Live in LA, Season 2, Episode 18, right here on the GFN channel, Facebook Live, and YouTube Live. So tonight we've got Jaime de Venecia, who is a recording artist and an accomplished pianist based in Los Angeles. So he's going to talk about his journey into the music industry and how he's fared during this pandemic and much more. Plus we have our community event, and Vilma gets to go out in the Los Angeles area since it is pretty open now, but of course we're still staying safe, being very careful. So that right here on Vilma Live in LA on the GFN channel. So here we go. Our hellos to the lovely viewers who are always there. As soon as we hit play live, they're there. So I love you guys. To Agnes in Toronto, Anita in Northern California, who's going to be here in SoCal soon, and Connie over there in the San Bruno area, Nora in Australia, Karina in New York City, Vivi in Hong Kong, hi, and to Han Jameson, a cousin of mine over there in Tustin, Mirabellis in Boston, the Bay Area peeps, the LA peeps, and Tita Els in the Philippines, hi, Arnold Pineda in Hong Kong, hi there. Plus, we've got Jeff in Texas, Addie and Jim in the Philippines, to Arnie, a cousin of mine as well, in the Philippines, Bonnie, hi there, South San Francisco, and Annie Luz in the Philippines. Plus, many more, I'm sure, okay? So, if I don't get to say hi to you right now, I get to say hi to you in the chats, okay? So, here we go with our show. So an event coming up June 12th, and that is the Philippine Independence Day. So over in Northern California, they do have a huge celebration, and it's called Salo Salo event, and brought to you by Project Pearls and many more establishments. So if you can go over there, it's in the San Bruno area, Tanford Mall, actually the parking lot. So it's going to be huge. A lot of activity. You'll see a lot of stalls, Filipino goods, Filipino food, and a lot of music for sure. So check this out. It is the Salo Salo event in San Bruno, June 12th. For VILMA Live in LA, we do have a VILMA Live in LA special, where we're going to be featuring guests performing their own music, plus performing a Filipino song. So right here on VILMA Live in LA, do join me for June 12th celebration. Hello again, hello.
Cursed is the word, and I said I'm sorry. Every morning lay in bed, ATARI. I've been ping-ponging on the low. Hit you back and forth, but your bruises never show. Cursed is the word, and I said I'm sorry. Every morning lay in bed, ATARI. I've been ping-ponging on the low. Hit you back and forth, but your bruises never show.
Okay, everybody, welcome to VILMA live in LA, and we have our special guest, and he is actually in Los Angeles. We'd like to welcome Jaime de Venecia right here in our Zoom studio, StreamYard studio, Facebook Live. Hi.
Hey, VILMA, thanks for having me on. I really appreciate it. It's a pleasure to be on. It's a pleasure to meet you.
You're so welcome. Yeah, and it's great to be interviewing a fellow Angelino.
Yes, absolutely. On my way. I'm not sure what the cutoff is in terms of years spent here, but on my way.
Yeah, I was going through your very impressive bio.
Thank you.
Yeah, born and raised in the Philippines. You were talking to me earlier about your upbringing, and also I read that you're a classically trained pianist. So let's go. Yeah. Let's go. Born and raised in the Philippines, and education there, etc.
Yeah. So I mean, I was born in the Philippines. I did spend a very brief year just in New York while my parents were finishing a business school. That was when I was a baby. I don't have any recollection of that. But yeah, I mean, I had otherwise been in the Philippines up until I was 18 years old. But I started playing the piano at about the age of 7. I actually wanted to learn myself. My parents have always been very encouraging and very supportive of what I wanted to do. But I wasn't really forced to play piano. I actually genuinely took an interest in it. So yeah, when I was about 7, I think I expressed that I wanted to learn, and so yeah, we started. They hooked me up with some piano lessons. I had an amazing piano teacher who was my piano teacher for a long time, actually, up until I was about 14. That's when I was kind of regularly playing piano and classical piano and all that. So I'd say I have been performing really for most of my life as well. It started off as just playing piano and singing and doing covers. I mostly did covers growing up. When I would perform, just in various talent shows and assemblies, and yeah, I think I caught the bug rather early, and I really just enjoyed, performing for people from a very early age. A lot of the music that I make now, it really helped me develop a musicality at a very early age. I also did music theory, which really I think helped just helped me with like writing and composing. I didn't actually start writing or composing until much later on in my life, but yeah, I certainly attribute a lot of my musical whatever you want to call it, interest or talent
understanding
or whatever. Exactly.
So how long did you have to practice? I mean, when you're classically trained?
Yeah, I had lessons, about once a week, just for several years. I was pretty notorious about not practicing really. My piano teacher would always, get a little irritated at me for not practicing. Sometimes I was good. Most of the time, I think I was pretty bad. But I think I made up for it with my enthusiasm and willingness to definitely. I was really classically trained in the sense that I took exams, and I was basically enrolled in this program called I think ABRSM. I don't remember what it stands for now, but it's basically a British classical piano program where there would literally be a proctor who would come to the Philippines, once a year. And then there would be kind of like a practical exam and a test and a written one as well for the theory. So, but I was very good at cramming for those exams and certainly doing well in them, which I think made up exactly. I think I was able to perform well under pressure. But yeah, clearly I definitely should have been practicing more solidly. But yeah,
Every way and I can prove it. One day they'll be saying I deserved it. Bruises, tell me all your secrets, I won't lose them. Cursed in every way and I can prove it. One day they'll be saying I deserved it.
Okay, so now we go to Connecticut. Tell us about your
Yeah.
education there, and you were also DJing there.
Yeah. So I basically ended up going to a small liberal arts school in Connecticut. It's called Wesleyan University. It's a very creative school. There's a really amazing music scene. There have definitely been some pretty good alumni, like MGMT went there, Santi Gold went there, a few other kind of bigger musicians as well. Yeah, I mean, basically, when I was at Wesleyan, it was the summer after my freshman year. I was actually doing I was working at Columbia University in New York, just for their summer programs, and I actually met this guy whose name's AO Beats. He's still a good friend of mine, but he basically showed me how to DJ. And at the time, I was really getting interested in electronic music. I mean, EDM was really big back then too, just in mainstream culture. So I definitely, caught that bug, and I was super into electronic music and EDM, and I really wanted to try DJing, just because I had such an enthusiasm for the music. And yeah, he taught me how to DJ, and I think because I had a musical background, I was able to pick it up pretty quickly. Yeah, just started doing that, and then it was actually that same summer that I decided to also try producing music. Using Ableton. That's the DAW that I use. But yeah, it was certainly a steep learning curve. It took me a while to really even be able to make anything. But yeah, I started producing music basically in the summer of 2012. That would have been right before my sophomore year in college. And then yeah, ever since then, I've just been making music, writing music.
Tell me all your secrets, I won't lose them. Cursed in every way and I can't prove it. One day they'll be saying I deserved it.
You also opened for Aquafina.
Yeah, I'm definitely. I mean, it's kind of amazing to think about, especially as she, really became a pop culture phenomenon with like Crazy Rich Asians and all the other stuff. But yeah, I mean, at the time she was kind of this like up and coming rapper. And yeah, she basically performed at Wesleyan, and I was able to open for her. I did a little DJ set. I also played some of my own music, if I remember correctly. And yeah, that was really fun. It's kind of a cool thing to look back on and think about, just given how much she blew up for like acting and other reasons.
Yeah, she's an amazing comedian. So then you, on YouTube, I saw this, I watched it. You had your first performance. What was that like?
Was this in LA? Yeah, at the Satellite. Yeah, so that was an amazing experience. I mean, it was nerve-wracking for sure, but I think it was such a good show that I was extremely happy about. I mean, I had a lot of support. I mean, all of my friends came out. It was really touching. It was a very special moment. I mean, I basically was able to get that show because of someone who I went to college with. His name is Henry Hall. He's an amazing musician, but he had basically booked a series of shows at the Satellite in February of whatever year that was. I guess that would have been 2017. And yeah, he asked me if I wanted to open. Of course, I said yes. And really, I mean, unfortunately, the Satellite was closed. I was impressed with how amazing the sound was. And looking back, I mean, I was very happy with how the performance went. It was awesome. I was able to hire a friend of a friend who did a lot of videography work to kind of capture the show. And yeah, it was great. I was really happy with it. I would love to play there again. Unfortunately, that's not possible. I have to find a new place.
I was also listening to your EP.
Thank you.
I love ATARI. It's so nice.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. Tell us that journey, how you wrote it, because I love the sound of it.
Yeah, thank you. I've told people this before, but kind of the way that I work, I have a lot of project files which just never came to fruition. I guess for me personally, when I have a song that really ends up, fully being produced and fully being released, no lie, usually the song comes together very quickly, and that's kind of how I know that it's gonna happen. It just everything kind of falls into place very naturally. I'll usually start off with like a little synth, or I usually will start off melodically. I'm kind of a melodic person, so I'll start off with like a synth or a guitar, and then kind of build like the bass and the drums and everything around that. But yeah, the production just kind of came really quickly. I probably put together the skeleton of the song in maybe about an hour or two, and then kind of the rest of the work was really just fine tweaking stuff. But yeah, even the lyrics, I just step to the microphone, and this is also what I said earlier was true about my lyrics as well. I think that when there's I just get into a flow and things just kind of come out really quickly. And I think that's very true for almost everything that I've actually fully released. And yeah, I think that when I work really, really long or repeatedly on something, it usually just doesn't end up materializing that
And
well.
you have
But
to step away. You just like,
yeah,
just like me when I'm writing and nothing's flowing. You like it, but you don't like it.
exactly. You just kind of got to reset, and sometimes you just have to know when to leave it. Or
So you are working on a few more projects. I see.
Yeah, I would say that right now, my main priority is basically working on what I'm really calling my debut album. I have released projects in the past. Certainly things. I've basically released like 2 full-length projects, an EP, and a mixtape as like my alter ego when I was doing like more rap stuff. But yeah, I'm really trying to put together like what I feel is just the debut album of JDB Plus. I really want it to be just super personal, and I think that I'm really looking to have it be essentially my artist statement. Really, what I just want it to be the rawest, truest form of the way that I express myself, and yeah, I think that I certainly just want it to be very personal and kind of really show people who I am, and also the diversity of what I can do and how I can express myself. So yeah, I'd say that's really the main thing on the horizon.
Yeah. So because of what's what happened worldwide with the pandemic,
yeah,
giving you a different perspective in your songwriting?
That's a good question. I think that I don't feel like the pandemic affected my art in that way. I think it was more just something that happened, and my life was affected, outside of music and everything. But yeah, no, I honestly don't think like it really changed much about my process or what I think about. I think it was just something that happened, to be honest with you.
Well, that's true.
No, definitely.
A lot more appreciation for life.
Certainly, yeah. It definitely put a lot of just life into perspective. But yeah.
So I always ask this: what would your advice be to artists that would like to?
Yeah, that's a great question. My biggest advice, honestly, is just to work with as many people as possible. Just express yourself as much as possible. When I look at other artists, and especially artists that I admire, I almost feel like the most important thing is simply to just put stuff out. It doesn't even matter what it is so much, just as long as you are I think the sheer act of being unafraid to put yourself out there and express yourself, and say, hey, this is something that I made. I think most importantly, just make music for yourself. I think honestly, ironically, that's the music that seems to commercially do the best or sell the most, is a lot of music where people are just not thinking so much about, oh, how do I sell this product, or how do I portray myself in a way that is mainstream and accessible, but really just, who am I, what am I trying to say? And I think all the other things come after that, in my opinion.
You're absolutely right, because in school where I studied, the first thing they say is, if you're going to make music and you're going to think about, I'm going to make money off of this, you're wrong, because you're already off track.
Yeah, exactly.
Music comes from here.
Where I'm like, dude, it's fine. Like, you're being honest, you're being you, and there's not really much else anyone can ask of you. So
Yeah, I learned that a while back.
no,
Like
definitely,
it's
definitely.
all good. Does not
Yeah,
matter.
no,
Just
totally,
share.
totally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
And finally, since we're both
Mm.
Filipino
Mm-hmm.
heritage,
Yeah, yeah.
would you like to say something in Tagalog? You're still
Oh
fluent,
my
right?
God. No, I'm not at all. It's a very embarrassing thing for me, but I just have to be honest. I mean, I
Okay.
had a bit of a unique upbringing in the sense that I did grow up in the Philippines. I went to an international school for 13 years, and beyond that, I mean, my mom is Filipina, but she didn't grow up in the Philippines, and she primarily raised me. So I just never grew up speaking Filipino, really. I can definitely say a tiny bit, but my grammar is horrible. I can understand a little bit more than I speak, but honestly, I truly, I mean, people, it's shocking to people, but I just have to be honest and say I'm really terrible at Tagalog.
It's
Yeah,
all good. Well, we want to hear
no,
your
for sure.
cute Filipino thingy.
Oh God. Well, I would say magandang gabi sa inyong lahat, and salamat, and yeah,
That's
that's
perfect. That's perfect.
thanks.
Well, thank you so much, JDV, for being on
Yeah,
the
yeah. Thank
show.
you, Vilma. It's great to meet you, and thanks for having me on. It means a lot. Yeah,
Yeah. And we are going to invite our friends to check your music out.
that would be awesome. That'd be awesome. Yeah, yeah. Keep me posted, and I'll certainly share this to my social media whenever it's finalized, and you just let me know.
Perfect.
Going crazy, going crazy, going crazy, going crazy. Cursed is the word, and I said I'm sorry. Every morning lay in bed, ATARI. I've been ping ponging on the low. Hit you back and forth, but your bruises never show. Cursed is the word, and I said I'm sorry. Every morning lay in bed, ATARI. I've been ping ponging on the low. Hit you back and forth, but your bruises never show. Yeah, your bruises. Tell me all your secrets, I won't lose them. Cursed in every way, and I can't prove it. One day they'll be saying I deserved it. Bruises. Tell me all your secrets, I won't lose them. Cursed in every way, and I can't prove it. One day they'll be saying I deserved it. Cursed is the word, and I said I'm sorry. Every morning lay in bed, ATARI. I've been ping ponging on the low. Hit you back and forth, but your bruises never show. Cursed is the word, and I said I'm sorry. Every morning lay in bed, ATARI. I've been ping ponging on the low. Hit you back and forth, but your bruises never show. Yeah, your bruises. Tell me all your secrets, I won't lose them. Cursed in every way, and I can't prove it. One day they'll be saying I deserved it. Bruises. Tell me all your secrets, I won't lose them. Cursed in every way, and I can't prove it. One day they'll be saying I deserved it.
And we've got new shows right here on the GFN channel. So check this out. My music, my social media. Here you go. Find me on YouTube Music and Facebook, also Instagram, Reverb Nation, Spotify, Pandora, iTunes, and all the streaming platforms. Vilma D. Ramos on YouTube, Vilma Live in LA on Instagram, Also, my Spotify is Vilma D. Ramos. My website on Reverb Nation, Vilma D. Ramos. YouTube music, you got it, Vilma D. Ramos. My website is vilma.me. And thank you so much for subscribing. So now I get to say thank you so much for being here with me this past kind of half hour-ish on Vilma Live in LA, right here on the GFN channel, Facebook Live. From me to you guys, giving you all my love. Ding! On the Filipino channel, VILMA Live in LA Season 2, Episode 18. So June 12th is huge amount of businesses, you, Anita, and Connie to Nora. Well, you know what? We'll